Hi! Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, Moulin Rouge is finally being adapted for the stage. And it's about time if you ask me. Baz Luhrmann's film is loved by so many people all over the world, and people have been begging for a stage adaptation basically since I think the film was released about 15 years ago, so it's long overdue. It is, let's face it. I mean, they took their time. Apparently it was something to do with the soundtrack because Baz Luhrmann used already established pop songs, but I don't know if that's going to be the case for the stage musical. Not a lot has been released yet, but what I do know and can tell you is it will have a book by Tony Award winner John Logan and is set to be directed by Alex Timbers. No venue or cast has been announced yet, but that'll all come soon. I don't know whether it's going to be on Broadway or in Australia, where Baz Luhrmann's from and where the film was filmed. Or it could even be in the West End. There's a huge demand for it over here, so we'll just have to wait and see. But I am so excited! And I cannot wait for that cast to be announced. It's going to be incredible. It did, though, get me thinking about the whole screen-to-stage adaptations, because there's a lot of discussion about new work being put on stage and why is there no original work and blah de blah de blah. And yes, it would be absolutely lovely if everything that hit the stage was new writing and original work and it was a huge success, but frankly it's not the case, and producers need money and they know people will go and see stories that they already know or shows with songs that they're familiar with, which is why jukebox musicals are so successful. But the thing is that people can moan, and they do have a right to, because there should be more original work on the West End stage and the Broadway stage and all the other stages that there is. But if an adaptation is done well, it really, really is brilliant. So I'm going to do a little rundown of my favourite screen-to-stage adaptations. You see what I did there? Screen-to-stage, whip fast. And, maybe touch on one or two that didn't work, that maybe weren't as incredible. I'm going to take Kinky Boots as my first example because it was quite a small, independent British film. It didn't set the box office alight, but Jerry Mitchell's seen something in it. Harvey Fierstein wrote a book which is very, very funny. Cyndi Lauper wrote some incredible songs for it, and it's a huge success as a musical. It's won, I think, every Best Musical award going. It won the Tony, it won the Olivier, it won an Evening Standard Award. It's done phenomenally well and I adore it. I am basically obsessed and, as you can tell, very much influenced by drag queens. So a show about drag queens with songs by Cyndi Lauper, it's what the inside of my head looks like. When I went to see it, I remember sitting waiting for it to start and feeling genuinely worried that I wasn't going to like it because I'd waited for it opening in London for so long. But of course I did love it. It was incredible. I was singing along with the songs. Similarly, Hairspray. Oh, I love Hairspray. I can't wait for the TV broadcast that's going to be done in America live, and I hope it's shown over here like they've done with Grease live, because I mean that was good. Everybody loves a bit of Grease, but let's face it, Hairspray, oh, it was phenomenal. And that was based on the John Waters cult film which starred Divine as Edna Turnblad. They could see a musical in that, so they added in some, let's not lie, incredible songs, and it done phenomenally well. Matthew Morrison from Glee was in the Broadway musical. He then went on to play Mr. Schuster and went on to star in Finding Neverland on Broadway, so he's done so well from it. And then of course it was turned back into a film which was adapted from the musical, which, who can forget John Travolta in his 90 with his beehive? It stays with you forever. Another musical which had Jerry Mitchell at the helm, he knows a good screen to stage adaptation, just Jerry Mitchell, was Legally Blonde, which was obviously a very successful film. It inspired a whole generation of girls, and myself included, to want to be a lawyer. Of course, it didn't happen. I am not a lawyer. I am not making millions per year after studying at Harvard because my ex-boyfriend told me I couldn't. I was actually really surprised when I was reading up about Legally Blonde the musical and found out it didn't win any Tonys despite being nominated for, I think it was 7 or 8 of them. It just didn't win. There was other shows that year that took them, but it did win the Best New Musical at the Olivier's, and Sheridan Smith, who played Elle, won Best Actress in a Musical, and Jill Halfpenny won Best Supporting Actress for her role as Paulette, which, let's face it, is the best role in that whole show. Ireland is such a good song. I do prefer the West End version because they kind of changed the words a little bit for the West End version as opposed to the Broadway one. But oh, it's a good song. I love it. Disney are always going to be good at a stage adaptation because basically they have the budget to make good things happen. They can put a magic carpet on stage, they can have Mary Poppins flying over the audience, they can basically do pretty much anything they set their mind to. I mean, there was even a stage musical of The Little Mermaid. I don't know how they managed to put a mermaid on stage, but that done quite well. There was recently a concert version of the show done in America with Rebel Wilson as Ursula, which I can bet she was pretty good at it. I did see her as Miss Adelaide in Guys and Dolls, and she was funny, but to be fair, she basically just played Rebel Wilson. But, you know, she got bums on seats. It was quite a full audience. There was applause when she came on, which I'd never seen before. It all got very American. It all got very Broadway. But she was good. The Lion King is obviously still a huge success, and I've still not seen it. I will tell you why I haven't seen it though. It's because I remember when it opened, they put the new musicals, they do little sections on the Royal Variety Performance, which I used to love. And I remember watching The Lion King, and the wooden puppets terrified me. Like, I couldn't watch it. I was absolutely terrified. And to this day, I am just a little bit scared that if I go and see The Lion King, the puppets will terrify me. I don't have a fear of puppets. I was young. I wasn't expecting it. It was scary, and there's just a little part of me that's still a little bit apprehensive. Of course, like I said, they're not always huge successes, adaptations. Flashdance I seen, and it was good. I thought it was good anyway, and of course my opinion is the most important. It didn't exactly set the stage alight, but it was passable. It just wasn't, it maybe wasn't the right time for it, or I mean, we all know it's ridiculously hard to get new shows up and running in the West End, so I don't know. And Desperately Seeking Susan, which I've never seen but I kinda wish I had, it should have been incredible because Desperately Seeking Susan is a well-known film, and it had songs by Blondie. Debbie Harry wrote the score. I mean, what was there not to love? But that got its shutters after a very, very short space of time and has never been heard from again, except when Peter Michael Marino, who wrote the book for the musical, took a show called Desperately Seeking the Exit to the Edinburgh Fringe in 2012, which was all about basically how horrendous the whole experience was. So, you know, at least something good came from it. Right now, the whole adaptation thing seems to be at an all-time high. School of Rock is on Broadway just now, and it's opening in the West End really soon. Again, there's Waitress, which is in Broadway just now and doing really, really well. There's rumours of that coming to the West End. I so hope it does. I love the score. I really like the film. I want to see it so, so bad, and I don't have the money to be swanning off to New York. I wish I did. If there's anyone who wants to give me the money or, you know, pay for a little first class trip for me, feel free. But until that happens, I have everything crossed that it crosses over and comes to the West End because I want to see it so badly. Finding Neverland is supposed to be coming over here as well, with a score by Gary Barlow, because of course he's the new Andrew Lloyd Webber, which no one saw coming, but good luck to him. And Tim Minchin has adapted Groundhog Day, which is the very, very much well-loved film starring Bill Murray. That's in the Old Vic just now and getting amazing reviews. That's one I'd really, really love to see, so I'm also holding out for a West End transfer of that. And there we go, that was just a little rundown of some of my favourite screen to stage adaptations. I've done it again, did you see screen to stage? And I do hope Moulin Rouge is a huge success. I can't wait to see who'll be in it, and I can't wait to hear some of the songs from it, and oh, it's going to be so good. And if you've got any favourites, let me know. I'm always really interested in what other people think about adaptations and adaptations versus original writing and all that hoo-ha and all that jazz. So let me know, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!